Mickety mic check 1 2 1 2. I am in the place to be. Comedian James Money, your host for Hawaii Comedy with James Money podcast. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. All right. Let's check the avenues. Make sure things are opening up in places that needs to be opened up. Let me go to Facebook. Make sure to share the live. Oh my goodness. When was that? February 23rd, 2013. Cool. All right, let's check to see if all the places are... I'm not live here. Why am I not live here? See, this is why I check. Because I am supposed to be live here, but it's not live here. Let's double check. Microphone. As I bust some freestyle rhymes for you. But I am actually not a rapper, so cannot bust those rhymes. Tonight's not absolutely. Oh, there it is. All right. Okay, it took some time, but you got there, Facebook. A little late. You know, I pay for these services. You know, Samoans don't like to pay for services and you don't serve it at the right time. Cuckoo. All right. So this is exciting. Let's see. We got some time. So people to check in. Make sure I get some people on the live joining in. Man, it's the issue I got right now. It'd be hot in this room. Usually, I that's why I podcast at night, so that it's a lot cooler. Maybe I should take this off, so that it's a lot cooler. But sometimes, because you're living in Hawaii, or 5 hours daylight savings, 5 hours behind New York. 2 hours behind LA. So when you have guests on the podcast that are in the mainland, you got to go by what do you call the time that that they're up. Like if I go at 7, it would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 midnight in New York. So, which is good, that this podcast stays on. It's primetime Hawaii time, and then it stays on YouTube so people can watch it. Also, the audio goes into Spotify, Apple, Google podcasts, as well as iHeartRadio podcasts. And, people get to see or hear it later, which is cool. All right. Today's guest is coming all the way from Oklahoma. So I don't even know the time zone that is. Maybe 2, 3, I would say 4 hour difference. Maybe they're in the Midwest time. When they come on, then they can share with you. But I got some awesome, amazing news. I feel like I made it already. That's it. I'm going to just, retire because I have an ape NFT, man, by Smooth Ape CC. I was like, my country club. Let me just say it like that. So if you guys go to Instagram, follow Smooth Ape CC, and you will see my NFT there. If you want to go ahead and touch base with them, follow them, DM them, click on their link, and see how you can get yours. I'm gonna try to pull it up so that you can see this amazing NFT that they made specifically for me. All right, so I'll show you guys here, but you guys can go on. That's me, fool. Look at that. I actually have an Aloha shirt that's that color, but it's not the sponsor of the show, so I'm not wearing it. But look at, got my Oakleys on, holding the microphone. Got the what do you call that? There we go. It's got the velvet curtain, and do you see the tattoo pattern in the background? Well, that is from my shoulder. That tattoo pattern is on my shoulder. So this is me. So do me a favor, go blow it up, man. Go to at smooth ape cc and like that that NFT that they made for me, the post that they have for me with this here. Look, it's even got you can't see it on the screen here, but it's got a beard kind of thing going. But yeah. All right. So go ahead and check it out. Smooth Ape CC. I'm doing it big, you guys. Like, I made it, man. I made it. Hey, Marinda, Pacquiao. 9 p.m. in Oklahoma. Thank you for doing the research. Got to check the comedy crew, making sure I got my facts correct. So 9 p.m. in Oklahoma. Thank you, Rin. Okay, so I'm excited because I have an NFT now. So if you go to my Instagram page, you will see my new profile picture is of the Smooth Ape by Smooth Ape Country Club. So cool, yeah. Let's see here. Go to Smooth Ape CC, click on the link in their bio, and find out how you can get yours as well. Shoot, I love it. I think I've even seen, all over the celebrities there. That's what they're getting into, NFT, and it's with these apes. So we'll talk more on that in future episodes. But I was so excited before I came on. They posted it, and I was like, oh snap, it's me. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about that. Other people, I don't know how they feel about that. I mean, I still got to learn about NFTs, and then when I do, then maybe, I'll be even more excited. But for me, I'm cool because they have one for George Lopez. Tanya Joaquin has one. You guys in Hawaii know who that is. And it's growing. All right. So let's see. I say we start the show. Let me get that intro music going for the people. Hopefully it plays this time. Last time it didn't play.
Live from the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it's Hawaii Comedy with your host, James Money.
Island days, clear blue water, and mountain ranges and dancing daughters. I can't get enough of these island days. Won't you take me back to Honolulu? Yeah, that surf is high and I am too. Sing songs all night long. I'm living these island days. Oh, they told me not to fall in love, but I just could not help myself. Oh, I missed my flight again. I was sleeping here with my new friend. Oh, yeah. Island
Yes. Island Days by Tavana. You gotta love that music. Every time I hear that music, I feel like a Paniolo, like, I'm ready to go in the OK Corral. And, I guess it would be different in Hawaii. It wouldn't be OK Corral. It would be, what could it be? It would be like, Not Bad Corral or The Kind Corral. There it is. The Kind Corral. Put up your shakas at the Kind Corral. Before I continue, let me give shout outs to our sponsors. Thank you, Tavana, for that beautiful music. Tavana is a multi-instrumentalist from Honolulu, Hawaii, who uses electronic drum triggers to lay down a variety of grooves with his feet, while simultaneously playing guitar, banjo, lap steel, or ukulele, and singing soulful, island-inspired rock and blues. You got to see him live. It's amazing. The dude also, he dabbled in stand-up comedy, so his show would be, complete, where you get that cool music, and then you get little jokes here and there. I don't know I know he likes to separate, so maybe, I shouldn't say that. I'm telling the dude how to do his show. But yeah, you can check him out at Tavana808.com. Find out his schedule. Go find him. He also has merch on there. Those of you guys admiring this beautiful beautiful golf shirt I'm wearing. This is from Oahu Golf Apparel. They have at oahugolfapparel.com hats, t-shirts, golf accessories. They're locally produced here in Honolulu, Hawaii. They're offering fun, stylish activewear on or off the course. Make Oahu Golf Apparel a part of your game. A reason why I like this shirt, it's really hot in my room. I turn down the fan or turn off the fan because otherwise you guys will be hearing the whole time. But usually I have the AC and the fan going because I am a big dude. But the reason I love this shirt, it's cool, it's light, it's flexible, and it comes in my size. This is a 6 extra large shirt. 6 extra large. They're making them for the big boys. And look at this. I can wear this to work. It's got a collar. It's clean. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. The pattern is lovely. It's like an Aloha shirt, but doesn't feel as restrictive as an Aloha shirt. So go to oahugolfapparel.com and check them out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to bring in my guest, all the way from Oklahoma. You kids in the Hawaii comedy scene probably never heard of this guy because he went back home. He was here when I first started out. Who I credit, whether he takes credit for it or not, for bringing me back into stand-up comedy. I did a show, and everybody bombs. All right, I performed at the Waianae Rest Camp for a canoe club. They were doing a Father's Day show. I was like about a year or less than a year in, and somebody mixed up the lineup. Originally, I was supposed to go early. The new guy goes early. The people with experience go later. So they put me later. By that time, green bottles filled the tables. I was brand new. I was supposed to do 20 minutes. I did my 20 minutes. I didn't know how to reach everybody at the time. I was brand new. And I bombed, and I was like, I quit. I'm not doing this anymore. No more comedy for me. It's not for me. Go back, drive my bus, and be content. And then maybe I want to say it was months that I didn't do stand-up. And I was done with it. Actually, I bumped into this person. I think it was I want to say it was at like a 7-Eleven or something. And then he said, hey, where you been? And you should come back and do some, And really, the way he talked to me gave me the confidence, like, I guess I am all right. Gave me the confidence to come back and jump back on stage. Invited me out to the Laugh Track Theater. And I haven't stopped since. I took a break here and there, things happen, but never stopped doing comedy because it's not just the performances. It's part of your life, it's the writing, preparing for shows and that whole, hanging out with other comedians, coming up with new ideas, or people watching and coming up with more ideas. So credit this dude. As I bring him in, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Michael C. Hall.
Woo! Yay!
Sorry, was that overblown or was that?
Not at all, man. I appreciate it, dude. I love the Pat McAfee show. I love how he pumps it up, man. I wanted to, cause man, while I may have never and will never be the funniest comic, man, I can get him hype. You know what I mean? The mic skills are, still there, and I love it, man. So I wanted to come in with the intro for you, right? Because no one gets to intro. You have the cool Tavana intro, which, by the way, good job, man. I remember when we used to sit in the back of a bar and watch Tavana and just be like, wow, we had just left a 4-person open mic where we bombed, and we'd go have a drink, and Tavana would be jamming, and we'd be like, wow, that's what talent actually looks like. So
yes.
And now he's your sponsor. That's great. Send him love from me, please, man. So
I will.
We
he's
talk about him.
He's a lot of people don't know, and I'm proud of this. I mean, I tell people, oh yeah, did you know he's Samoan? Like nobody asked. But nobody asked. I just walk around like when somebody mentions Tavana, I say, oh yeah, Tavana, the musician. Oh, he's so talented. Did you know that he's Samoan? I was like, oh no, I didn't know. I was like, well, but you don't. You know now. So
now you know.
You gotta claim.
That's.
Would you turn off the? Did you turn off the light in your room?
I did it first. It's on now. I was just checking lighting. Just see what lighting was best. So
because now it just looks like your eyes are glowing blue. Like,
oh, are you not seeing me?
Well, no, I see you. It's just you're not as bright as when you first came on, I think.
Oh, the cameras. Hold on. Let me try to get more light into the frame.
Yeah. No, I think more light on your face.
Oh.
You see those, because it's like your,
Nobody needs more light on my face, bro. Come on.
No, it just looks like you're trying to shoot lasers at me or something.
Oh, one Holly, blue eyes, huh? What Holly with those eyes?
Us brown guys were like, whoa, is he angry? Why is his eyes so? Because to be honest, your blue eyes are like really bright and intense. I'm not saying it in a bad way. Like some people's blue eyes, it's a little in the darker, so it doesn't really stand out. But yours is like you're looking into my soul.
Hey man, what my mom and that polar bear did 25, 30 years ago is none of my business. Or 40. Let's not count years anymore. So, yeah. But yeah,
I would say that is your business. You should find out more about that.
That is you might be old child support from a polar bear, bro. You can get an igloo out of this.
Or a baby seal, at least. Maybe the skin.
Think about that many years of back child support paid in blubber.
So here you go, 2 sperm whales. I don't know. I don't even know if sperm whales even go up that high. Am I making stuff up here?
Sperm whales go all the way up, bro. That's what I've heard.
I think I just wanted to say sperm whale. I could never figure out why they named him that. Who was like, what? Like the person, because somebody had named everything. Like not everything was named by one person, but people named things, and it was like that big giant swimming thing looks like sperm.
Looks like a teeny tiny swimming thing. You can follow the logic, Also, like
sperm whale,
right? When they name question, like if we're going, let's go. If they named the sperm whale, when they named it, did they have like the microscopes and they knew how sperm actually did the thing, or did we name jism? That's the scientific term. Did we name jism after the sperm whale? Right? Which came first, the sperm or the sperm?
That's true. So that could be named after whales. It could be like a dude who was like, maybe a woman laughed at him and like, oh, that's so cute. He. And he's like, what are you talking about? This is a whale. And this is sperm whale.
And while we're on the topic, why do we call a dick, right?
Well, maybe a guy named Richard named it.
Right. Well, no, I mean, what was a Steve? You know what I imagine? It was like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna put my Steve in you so hard. Yeah, girl, you're gonna suck
Hey,
on
Mike,
Steve all night.
Mike, you're acting like a Steve right now, man.
Stop being a Steve, bro.
Steve.
I'm just saying there could have been 100 different names for, why do we call anyway?
Yeah.
We have derailed, but it is good to see you. Hi.
It's great to see you. No, but I mean, you know me, I always run with it. So, I mean, look at what we've done to the name Karen. I mean, I'm pretty sure. So that's how it started. Somebody was arguing, and then her name was Karen, and then everybody else after that is just Karen.
You're being a Karen. Yeah,
Yep.
I wonder. Yeah.
So maybe like 1,000 years from now, there's going to be a Samoan guy and a white dude talking, and I'm like, man, yeah, but there's, maybe that polar bear owes you some blubber from a Karen whale or something. It's like,
Yeah.
where did Karen come from? I don't know, but that's what I call my jizz.
I don't think.
Because that's the scientific term.
Of jizz or the sperm whale? Wait, what?
I don't know. It might be Karen. Poor Karens. So Amy, what's up, Amy?
Amy is correct. Yeah.
Amy Fraser.
No.
Yes.
Shame on us, Amy.
Amy.
Yes.
Yes. But she also says, laughing so hard, I scared the cat.
And by cat, she means pussy. Yeah, good enough.
Pussycat. It's the actual. It's the actual cat.
Yeah,
I can vouch for that. I've seen pictures of the cat on Instagram. Not that cat, but an actual animal, a feline.
Dude,
I'm trying to think of like the.
You and your fans'
Yeah.
relationship has nothing to do. Very blue, but it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you miss me,
And we
bro?
just
Do you ever
started.
miss me out there? You ever be watching people do comedy and go, I've not heard one racial slur. I've not heard one F-bomb.
Oh no!
Anal
Oh
punk.
no!
Oh, is it still
You'd be
real out there?
surprised. You'd be surprised, Michael. I was at a show, Slack Key, and the 5 people. It was a showcase. I went to go work on material. 5 comics before me. Maybe one of them was Filipino, and they talked about Filipinos, and then one of them was has a Samoan daughter, and talked about Samoan. It's okay, it's his daughter. And then the others started talking about Samoans, and I was like, whoa. It's getting... So I got up, and I did the Patrice O'Neill thing, which is, I called it out. I just threw all my material out the door. I went up, and I said, hold up, man. You guys are getting a little too comfortable with Samoan jokes, and I'm sitting in the audience like, am I supposed to take this? See, you guys weren't around back in the days when we used to fuck you guys up just for school lunch money. Are we gonna have to start?
Just so
We're gonna have to start doing that again. I mean, we're gonna have to start beating you guys up so you guys show us some respect.
Yeah, Samoans used to beat people up, just so y'all knew, just so you knew in the pecking order, this is what we are. You know what I mean? So yes, what the hell?
I like how you say we are. All right, you part of the team, Michael. You're
No,
honorary. You in the podcast, you're honorary Sole right now. Okay, so
And
you got the bluest eyes.
Not to be cheesy, but that is a true story. Since we booked this and I was thinking about it, I will say, man, of everyone definitely in Hawaii. I'm still close to a few folks, and just in my life, not having any brothers or sisters, man, you are definitely the closest thing to a brother I have, in my heart.
Easy. You're acting like a Steve right now. Hold on. Now.
Don't be a Steve, bro. We're making jokes about sperm whales, and then you're telling me I'm like a brother to you? Ew.
I know. Whoa. I don't come to you for emotional stuff, man. You're the dude that gets me back on that dark side. So it's like,
What's the flip side to the coin? That's the key, right? So you got to be really awful and then really sincere and decent of a human being, I hope. So, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, it's funny. So the last time I talked to you, I dropped Tyler off at the airport to go back to Wyoming for college. So I talked about that in a previous episode, that it was just me rambling on the episode, and a friend of mine was watching, and he was like, this guy. So what happened was I dropped her off, and as I was driving away, I honked my horn, and she looked at me with that look of like you just left your 6-year-old with like the orphanage, and you're never going to see her. She gave me that look like she was crying, and that look like, why are you leaving me? And then I couldn't stop crying. So I drove from the airport all the way to Pro City. So I'm at the airport. I'm just bawling and driving away. I get onto the freeway, head towards Pro City, which is it's about maybe like an 8-mile drive. And then I call my friend Galen, and we're talking. And he has kids, you know. His son is a senior. He's going to be going through this, you know, next year. And then it didn't get me in the right space. Like, he was very comforting and supportive, and he's that friend. Oh, you know, it'll be all right, you know. And then, okay, thanks, man, I appreciate it. But he had to go, and then hung up, and I was still crying. I was like, damn, who? And Michael, I think you hit me up, and then I parked. I went past where I was supposed to go at my house. I parked in Pro City parking lot outside of a Petco, crying. And then the discussion we had, which, if you guys think this is blue, that conversation is purple. I mean, it's like, but the tears dried up. I was like, Michael, man, you are fucked up, dude. And I was cool. I was like, oh, back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. And I was all good to go, man. I was like, see, I just needed somebody filthy to talk to.
And that is almost going to make me cry, fucker. That, you know, yeah, whatever. Don't be stupid.
An emotional whiplash.
No, man, I'm so glad, dude. I'm just so glad that, you know, I was dumb enough to go up to a giant Samoan and in a parking lot and cuss him out for not doing comedy. You know, you could have just stomped me into the ground. You could have been like, shut up, Holly, boom, you know, but I'm just glad I was.
You know what? You were with your mom.
Was I with my mom? She was visiting,
Yeah.
So
it was that time. It was the parking lot outside of a 7-Eleven, you know, that little plaza. And then, because I saw you helping her, you know, you're really, you're a gentleman with your mom. And then I saw that, and then you said hi to me, and I was like, oh, I don't think I know you, but, you know, I said, oh, hi. And then you told me where you saw me. And I was like, oh, okay, these comedies, how come you don't come out anymore? I was like, oh, And then you asked me to come out, and I came out, and
yeah, man, I remember trying to talk you out of being a bus driver at one time. Remember? Yeah. You used to drive a bus. I swear. I promise. It's true.
It took 10 years, but I'm finally out of that bus driver seat. So
right, it was tough on you, man. I'm glad, but yeah, you know, you're like, I'm Jimmy the bus driver, and you know, I'm like, you're not gonna be able to use that for long, man. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a comic. So I'm you know, you have little feathers in your cap in life. You know, the older you get, you can look back and you go, you know, that was one thing I did right. And normally there is a whole bag of things I did wrong, but every now and again you're like, that's one thing I did right, or I called right. And yeah, man, knowing you, and do you remember I booked your first headline show? It was called Comedy Slab.
On King. No.
Yes.
Not on King. Across the street. It was the second floor in Chinatown.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it wasn't Dragon.
No. It wasn't On King, because On King was the art gallery. Okay, so this is what I also wanted to discuss. No. I forget the name of the place. I have the poster somewhere. I got to dig it up. But, yeah, I was my first headlining gig. I think I did 45 minutes. And it's only in Hawaii. You can have like a year and a half in, and you headline for 45 minutes. So Jose's on. He says, Michael C. Hall was one of the first comics dated at Comedy U's very first show.
Hell yeah. Hey, Jose, what's good, big homie? Congratulations, man. Talk about,
so
just for a second, let me just, you know, I wish I was wearing a cap so I could tip it, but talk about a man who has taken something and done amazing things. A lot of y'all, a lot of y'all comics out there wouldn't be working if it weren't for the hard work of Jose. I mean, that man sweats, he bleeds it. It's a shit gig. I think he'll probably be the first one to tell you. Being a comedy promoter in a local town, especially one where you can't leave unless you get on a plane and fly. You don't get to jump in your car and drive 3 hours to another major market. I can go to Dallas or Kansas City in 3 hours. So, and in 6 hours, Houston, right? So Austin, hang out with Joe, my man Joe. So I don't know. Are you allowed to like Joe Rogan, or can you not do that now? Or I don't know where you guys are at with all that. So
I mean,
I just do what the fuck I want and don't care what other people think. That's kind of my thing. But anyway, sorry.
Has their opinions.
Wait. Before we get into it, I really want to say Jose has a very hard job weekly, cranking out shows, keeping them booked. There's not a whole lot of talent, man. There's not, and no matter how much talent you have, you can only do so much before you have to grow a scene. You have to invest in those comics, and he's doing all that, and he's doing it fucking right. He's doing it right. So yeah, man, congratulations to him. So I also want to shout out to my man Patrick Tyrell. Speaking of, love him too, and man, yeah, all the comics, all the folks. So
yeah, I mean, I was in it too, so yeah, I can vouch for exactly what you're saying. Where it's difficult being a promoter. For me, the most difficult part was putting on the business hat, worry about the ticket sales, promotion, make sure people hear about the show, get the word out to as many people, and hope people show up. And that anxiety when it's like, ooh, hope people show up, and the day of, you're just like sick to your stomach all the way until showtime, and you're like, let's hold for 10 minutes and hope people show up. And then forget, oh wait, I'm performing tonight. I gotta be in comedy mindset to actually perform. But my stomach is telling me, no, I think you're gonna go sit on the toilet for a little while because there's only 5 people here. It's tough because, especially Hawaii, where the same people are gonna be almost every show. We don't have another state where somebody can drive over a couple hours, or we're passing through and hey, I'll check out this comedy show. We don't have that, so it is tough. Oh, look, we got somebody from Sherman, Texas.
Texas is the boo. I'm in Dallas all the time. One of my best friends is in North Richland Hills, so I'm in that area. Sherman, that's North Texas, so we're not too far away. What up, girl? Holler. How you doing?
And also, when I was in Dallas, you drove down, and
oh yeah, and we partied
and with Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington,
Neil Hamburger.
Yes.
Neil Hamburger, for any comedian, any self-respecting comedian, needs to know and love and follow and respect the Neil Hamburger thing. Yes. It's one of the most beautiful, amazing things in comedy ever.
And he is the sweetest person off stage and just the nicest guy. It was awesome that you came down, because that was my first time in Texas, and it was like, which is pre-pandemic, so I didn't have to worry about that.
But you got to understand, you don't worry about that anyway. Like we're in that area where we say, fuck all y'all. If you want us to wear them, I mean, I'm not saying, I have the vaccine. So, but we're just in a place where it's not as heavy of a thing. So,
yeah. But you're like, the coolest thing about you, there's a lot of cool things, but one of the coolest things is that not only are you a Oklahoma Sooner fan, Boomer.
Sooner!
You're also a graduate of Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma, or OU. And you're from Norman, which is where the university is. So it's like, man, Homer, like 1,000 times.
Roundabout sort of way, by way of Midwest city. So ended up in Norman, but was in, there's it'd be like, I don't know, it'd be like IA to Pearl City. You know what I mean? Right next door.
Oh, right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there.
So, but yeah, so by way of, but yeah, that's, yeah, man, I'm Norman 3. My mama lives in Norman. My grandma died in Norman. You know what I mean? I'm gonna probably, no, I actually don't know if I'll end up here full time. This is, where the family is, and being an only child kind of thing, want to take care of, and be around my family for as for what they need right now. That's important to do. So I'm, kind of holding that down. And, I got to say, I'm super blessed right now. I have an amazing job. I'm one of those corporate guys that I used to laugh at and think, boy, I bet their job sucks. It does. It totally does. When you have to spend 2 hours talking about Excel spreadsheets on a Zoom meeting, it's terrible. But the money they pay you to do it is nuts. So I'm in, right? And it's a fun gig, man. It's a really fun gig. I get to travel and, and it's more money than I, ever maybe thought I'd be making. So, I'm real lucky, real blessed, more so than that. A lot of friends, close with family, so yeah, man, have some creative projects working on. But.
Well, one of the things that wanted to bring up, and thanks to Jose in the Comedy Corner bringing this up, congratulations on your sobriety, Michael. And that's something, that, I seen down here where, you pretty much just it was pretty much party city, or, rock out and, whatever the phrases are nowadays. I don't know, get lit or whatever's, but I sound like an old dude right there.
You wacky youngsters and your kooky internet. Next thing you know, you'll be having sex in cars.
Yeah, with your surfing the Websters and the pills and the alcohol drinkers but yeah, congratulations again. Jose wants to congratulate you on your sobriety, and it's something that
thank you so much, Jose. Thank you.
We'll take a serious turn here, and then I'll ask you. I'll bring up some old memories and watch you laugh when I bring it up. But you wanted to talk about your sobriety. So how long has it been for you? How's the struggle for you?
Good, man. Dude, it's so much more than just what it is, right? Like everything worth doing. But man, it's one of those, just to kind of give you the synopsis, it all kind of started when I lost weight. I lost about 100 pounds from my heaviest in Hawaii. And I thought that would fix it. And it didn't. I still had the issues, and a good friend basically, kind of came to me, and somebody I was, training some MMA and stuff with. And he was like, man, you got to stop drinking. I had yet another really bad night. Just a really bad night. And, I had to get my car towed out of a ditch and blah, blah, blah. Like I said, really bad night. Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that. Let's just say there were people that are not fans of me because of that behavior, and that's fair. There are people that are not fans of me just because I'm an asshole, but we're going to be all right. I'm a real Steve. Yeah.
Steven.
It's Steven. I like how you've elongated it. So now it's not Steve, it's Steven.
Because I guess, it got warm, it got aroused, and then it just became pretty soon. You gotta be careful, because it might turn into Stevenson, and then whoa, sperm whales again.
She can take 3 Stevensons at once.
And then I stopped calling her.
Well, it depends on how lonely you are, but let's not get into that. Ditches me.
So Jose's chiming in, and the ditches make the absolute worst parking spaces. That's their.
So true.
But I will say this: they're the easiest parking spaces to find.
Right. No, I was pulling my car out of ditch. What he was referring to, I thought he was referring to my current dating life. So, but either way, yes, ditches are.
Ditches get stitches.
Don't do that shit when I'm drinking water. That's not fair.
Which you might, as long as you're not putting a Steven in your mouth, you're good, right?
Right. So anyway, long story short, man, I was just fucking up a lot, and that was a lot of my problem there that I didn't realize till after I had left. Is a lot of the mistakes I had made, a lot of the two things mainly, honestly. The first one was I was trying to be a comedian and a promoter, and I shouldn't have. I could not do both well. I feel like I probably, did okay doing comedy. Came out here, made a solid run for a while. And I think I could have done a decent job promoting because that's something I feel like I'm more of a natural at even than stand up. But I think marrying the two for me was rough. And then you throw in some addiction issues and some depression issues that are being treated with alcohol, which is actually just fuel on a fire, drugs and all. Anyway, combine all that and you have a person who's, not well equipped to, handle relationships and be successful. And therefore I was not. Right. And that's okay. Went through the process and, so a good friend of mine was like, it's clear you're a problem. After I've done a lot of other work, I was still making a lot of mistakes. I quit drinking. And, man, the thing is, when you quit drinking, what happens is your painkiller goes away. The thing that makes you numb goes away. The thing that allows you to cope in your brokenness goes away. Your excuse to be the fucked up person you are goes away. You don't have that anymore. So now you have to either decide if that's, who you are and who you're going to be, or if you are going to go through some acceptance and you deal with it via acceptance. And that can be hardcore at times. You know what I mean? But because you have to lay there sometimes and just accept it and just take it and just deal with the mistakes you've made, the problems you've caused, the hurt you've caused. And then you have to dig even deeper and go, why would I don't have a bad heart. I've never wanted to do bad things or hurt anyone for any reason, really. In fact, the people I've hurt the most, I love the most by far. That's not even a question. The people I've hurt the most, I by far love the most and would never want to hurt. And it's because you're broken and you're loving in a broken way. And that means your love is broken. So what you're trying to give, you don't have to give. And not to get too much into the weeds there, the point is acceptance. You have to accept all of these things. And what happened to you going all the way back to childhood, if you're going to truly heal. 12 steps, I highly recommend going into that if somebody's interested. But at the end of the day, it's about healing. It's about acceptance and it's about healing. And then once you get past that, you can get to kind of the freedom part. And you understand that I'm fucking free, man. I'm really... There's a beauty in responsibility. I know if I go out to a bar and do something stupid, I did something stupid and I have control over that, right? Not the alcohol made me do it, or I was drunk, therefore I was misbehaving and I caused problems because I'm not the kind of guy who can have 2 drinks. I'm the kind of guy that has 2 drinks, needs to have 47 more drinks and then go to the after hours party and then, jump on a flight to LA with cocaine in my pocket and then end up in prison. So it's just not good that I drink. So, but man, I got to tell you, if you feel like you have that issue, it's so important that you seek out help, go to a meeting. There are so many great AA meetings out there. I just recommend that you do, and also, just try to key in on a spiritual walk. I understand everybody's is different, whether you're, whatever it is, Wiccan, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, whatever it is, tune in on, or none of those things. Tune in on a spiritual path. If you're really depressed and you feel like you're needing drugs or alcohol to kind of get through, and you may have an issue with that, I highly recommend seeking some help and going on a spiritual path, because you could be a way more awesome person and you could have a way better life. And it's not always easy. And last night, for some reason, I wanted to drink. It just hit me, man, I want to go have a drink. And then I laughed. I literally laughed. I was like, are you kidding? Oh my gosh. And I almost laughed at it. And, I'm a great designated driver. I love being the guy that at 3 a.m. is still up and like, what's up? And everybody can get in my car. We're all going to be safe. We're all going to get home good, Yeah, man.
I've gotten some of those phone calls where, I'm driving late. What you doing, James?
Oh, man, I just got everybody home, or, what you doing, dog? Yeah. So, but
I'll chat with you until you do make that long haul back home. That's, so that's awesome of you. Amy is saying, that's amazing. Jose is saying congratulations. And I think for me, like, I don't know. I would never consider myself alcoholic. I never got to a point where I was a problem. It's always, maybe it's because I'm
No, I used to
controlling.
get mad at you
So
because you wouldn't drink more. Remember? I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
dude, you gotta pound this bottle. You're like, no, I don't. I've had my couple drinks, dude. You gotta understand, it doesn't do it for me the way it does it for you. I was like,
yeah.
okay, yeah. What up,
I mean, it
Patrick
was
Tyrese in the bizzle? Yeah, Patrick Tyrese in the beezy. I love him.
Yeah, and Rin says she remembers those calls. I remember calling her a few times when she worked at the radio station.
Yeah.
And I would call and be like, oh, just driving home. And because she was, I think, the only, I think, DJ that was up late working, so taking calls still. And man, that's great. It's just weird. I wouldn't want to turn the show. It's like, oh, that's good enough. Congratulations, Michael. Yeah, you're sober. But let's talk about some fucked up times.
No. Don't roast me too hard, bro. Don't roast me
Let's
too
talk
hard.
about. No. Let me just take a quick break, real quick. I mentioned, that the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. For those of you, we're going through tough times. We all have, different levels of stress, and we handle it a certain way. If you're feeling like you feel like hurting yourself, please don't. At least talk to somebody. You can always hit me up on social media. I'm quick to talk to people. Michael C. Hall as well. You can follow him on Instagram at C. Hall Comedy. Is it C. Hall?
Still that.
Yep, C. Hall Comedy. Yep, at C. Hall Comedy. DM and let's chat. I think comedians have gone through some things that where we actually seen darkness. And with depression or some kind of abuse, whether it's I won't want to say these trigger words, but whatever it is, and for some reason we found that the stage is some place that makes us feel comfortable, even talking about it, letting it off your chest or getting off your shoulders, whatever it is. It's sad when we find comedians that have hurt themselves and are no longer with us. So going back to, if you feel like hurting yourself, don't hit us up. Talk to any comedian. I'm telling you, we're always willing to talk. That's what we love to do. If you don't want to talk to people or any of us, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. They can either help you out or point you in the right direction to help you out. The problem with when you end your life is that you'll never know what it's like to rebound. You'll never know what it's like to come back and win at the end. Because once that happens, that's it. Also, when I was with the guys with issues, we always mentioned, when we see our young people getting bullied, our teenagers. For a teenager, that really hurts when a teenager hurts or a child hurts himself because other kids are making fun of them. If you see somebody that needs help, hey, sometimes even just saying hello helps. Somebody's thinking of hurting himself. You say, hey, good morning, or how are you? And that could be enough to that person to decide, I'm not gonna do that today. And that's, as human beings, we just gotta, I actually was chatting with one of the comics all the way up until like 5 minutes to live. Mental health is a serious issue. And I think we've all suffered some sort of darkness. So why not try to help others? And, I'm sorry to take this
No,
to
that's
that
exactly.
route.
I love it. They say it takes 2 years to kind of, when you make a big change, they say it takes about 2 years to kind of adjust, right, and groove into it. And April will be absolutely. Amy's absolutely. It takes about 2 years, and April will be 2 years sober for me. And I'm, I had no desire to do comedy, man. I had no desire to become an active part of be a sponsor for someone else. But now I do. Now I've kind of got the bug, but it's more of man, you can have life. You can have some life Like, I take it from somebody who felt worthless and wanted to die every day and still struggles with those feelings sometime. You know, because when you feel worthless, you attract worthless things and you behave worthless and you bring worthless in. And you don't want to feel worthless, so you go drink or do drugs or, you know, have a bunch of sex or whatever the case. You know what I mean? Spend a bunch of money, you shouldn't gamble, whatever. But you still feel worthless. And that's the great thing about it is when you commit, that's the most important thing, is that this is the first commitment I've made to myself that I've kept, right? And I mean, and measurable, right? Because I've lost 100 pounds, sure, but hey, man, I still eat pizza and ice cream. I gained 20 back, working on getting some of it off now. I'm about 12 over right now. Shout out to my coach Josh, but we're gonna get there, Bubba. So, but
You said 12.
12 pounds over where I gotta be. So.
12.
Not for fighting weight, for walking around weight. You know, I mean, I'm about 20 over for fighting weight. You know, what I mean, what? What you mean, James? What you want? What you want? What's up? What you want?
I'm like 212 overweight. So
You're like,
I'm about 12.
50 pounds overweight, bro. What are you talking about?
I got skin tags that are 12 pounds. What are you talking about? I'm 12 pounds overweight. I cleaned this side of my neck, and I just lost 12 pounds, man. He's like, I'm 12 pounds overweight. You're talking to Samoan, man. So,
yeah, no, but that's a different. You guys have a different scale than us.
I mean, we all got. There's a bunch of people that got NFTs from you know, the Smooth Ape CC, and sad to say, but mine's is the only one that actually looks like me. Like,
oh yeah, buddy, I like it.
That's the actual one, the only one that actually looks like me. Where like other people, there you go.
Hold it up again. I think that actually looks like if you and Chad Wago had a baby.
Who's to say that isn't a baby's picture of our child?
Exactly.
Okay. I'll just leave that there and do all the talking while it's moving like that. The coolest thing about this, but
do me a favor, tell Chad Wago to unblock me. Being a bitch. But that's another thing. Anyway, yeah.
Hey, man.
That looks like you and Chad had a baby. I love it.
So then the coolest thing is the background. You see the tattoo print.
Mm-hmm.
That's from my shoulder.
That's your shoulder.
That's a tattoo. That's the shoulder. The tattoo I have on my shoulder. So it's like it's actual. It's funny. I got a lot of unfinished tattoos. So there you go. So that print on the back is from my shoulder. All right. So let's see. Let's go back to the comedy corner and see here. Patrick Tyrell says Michael gave me my start in comedy.
Thank you, brother. And you booked me on many great shows, and I appreciate everything we did together. I miss you all the time. So, absolutely. Yeah.
And there's actually a lot of comedians, because I think even Chad and Anthony Negrelli, same thing. Like when they started out, they, what do you call it? It was at one of like Indigo, I think, or whatever, one of the shows that you had.
I think it was Dragon.
Oh, thanks, Patrick. Yes, this is a nice shirt. Thank you.
You know what? My shirt is fresh.
It is. I wonder if the smell is fresh too. So Rins likes the skin tags.
Man, what you and your fans got a thing, man.
So Jose wants to know, what's your favorite city to perform in when you're on the road?
Oh man,
and you're a Southwest dude, huh?
Yeah, it would have to be Chicken Fuck, Mississippi. That is, I mean, here's the thing about it. A lot of shows you go to, people have teeth, right? And they can read, and that's exhausting. But in Chicken Fuck, you've got some good God's people there, okay? Look, they may think
I think you say it with a French accent, right? Chicken Folk.
Chicken Mississippi. Look, man, a lot of shows you go to, people, you know, they've seen other entertainment in their life. You know, they have working electricity, you know, so they expect you to be funny, you know. Now in Shikonfu, no, not at all. They just want you to get up there and do some hee-haw bits from the 70s, the 80s. Hee-haw was a show.
I know that show. We're Generation X. We saw it.
No,
My mom used to watch it all the time.
You're right. Did she?
What is it? I want to go to chicken food.
Chicken food. Absolutely. Who doesn't, right? So.
And the way you said it, you made it like Creole. Chicken food.
Chicken food.
Herbs and spices or chicken food. So when I do comedy at chicken food, I'm like, oh, look at the electricity. Look at electricity at chicken food.
Chicken food sounds like a martial art you train your fighting chicken in.
So Hawaii has a lot of those. So it's either MMA or the chicken food. Take your chicken food, where you go and train your chickens to fight.
Fun times, I think, there. So, yeah. Anyway, you're going to
give
me...
Snoop!
Snoop Wells, what up, big homie? I love you. Hawaii Actors Network. Look them up. Support them. They are big time. Got some good roles. You can get paid work as an actor working with Hawaii Actors Network. Hawaii, yes.
And my first headshot was from Michael Snoopy Wells taking a picture of me at the King's Pub, the downstairs of the Hawaiian Monarch.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about a multi-talented individual, like an unsung, multi-talented guy, man. Snoop, I mean, acting, comedy. Remember, man, what made me mad about him, Snoop, what made me mad about you is that we did all this effort, trying to be funny comedians, and you wouldn't give a crap and go up there and kill, like, all the time. So, funny, good actor, musically fine, amazing music guy. And then clearly killer eye with a camera, and a cool dude too. A good human being. You don't see a lot of talent and a good human being at the same time.
Well, here's a reason to hate Michael Snoopy Wells.
Because he's better looking than us. Because he doesn't age.
Well, one, yes, you got both of them. It's like 2 out of 5, but you got 2 of them. He when they say black don't crack, they're talking about Michael Snoopy Wells,
right?
The dude. Not only that, he's also I guess. He adapts. So he did get older. But then he turned that white hair into like silver, luxurious hair. Like,
yeah, no, it's like, style. He's just doing it for style. Just because he can.
Yeah, so like it's like no matter what he do is just cool. It's like I'm not saying hate him. I'm just saying like, man, that guy, and it's similar to like how people hate would hate. It's like a love hate. Like Jamie Foxx. Like when he came out, people was like they wanted to not like him, but he was just so smooth that you couldn't not like him.
I loved it since Living Color.
Silver Fox Luxury. Yeah.
I hear the song in my head. Don't worry.
Yeah. So now that we opened up the bag to King's Pub, which was one of the. So here's the thing for me with Michael C. Hall, and when I first started out. So when I first started, I took a class that a friend of mine was telling me, I saw this on Craigslist. This is back when Craigslist was, before Instagram and all that. It was Craigslist, and there's no Facebook marketplace. Everything was Craigslist. And then I was like, well, I don't know if that guy might murder me. And it was Bobby Duncan. He was teaching.
How's Bobby? Comedy. Oh, I love Bobby. Shouts to Bobby.
He's in California still, I believe, but he's originally from Arkansas, so he's up in your area.
Supportive dude. Shouts to you on Instagram, Bobby. Yeah. Thank you.
So he, taught me some things, how to write and whatnot, and then he put me up, and it was amazing. It was like the first time I went up, I did well. And then that was it. There was no other place to do comedy. So it was like, okay, now what? And there was Laugh Track Theater, which was every 3rd week of the month. So it wasn't even every week. It wasn't every day. And I shared this onto the Hawaii Comedians Facebook page so that when you guys see this, there was no place to do comedy at the time. It was just every 3rd Thursday, you'd have 30 people sign up and wait outside because Laugh Track Theater was so small. We were all waiting outside and we were all talking shit, which was super cool because you get a whole bunch of sarcastic people who are, borderline depressed or, bipolar or whatever.
Yeah, just comics.
Yeah, just talking trash to each other and talking. And it was awesome, but it was also bad because we didn't have a place to go every day to work on the craft. But when people came, they brought it because it was like, I only have 5 months this month, 5 minutes this month. So when I get up, it's going to be quality stuff. So like for the whole month, I'm in that notebook. Oh, and then working the joke in my head, working the material in my head. Like by the time it came to that, boom. And I used to catch the bus there. I'd catch the bus, do my 5 minutes, catch the bus, and I'm out. And it's like, it was Wild Wild West. And then until, and this is, not taking away from, Augie was doing comedy, El Ray was doing comedy, but the comics like myself in the underground scene, we didn't know El Ray, we didn't know Khalil Pilanka, we didn't know Augie. They were doing like feature shows, so we couldn't just go up to Augie and be like, hey, I heard you're doing the Blaisdell. Can I get some time? No, you're not. So the thing for me was when I came back and then you started to do your marketing and promoting skills, and next thing you know, it's like, hey, let's form this group. So when we look back now, it's like, hey,
it was a brilliant idea.
Hey, we only had what we had at the time, and this is what we had, and you've created the Fox Force 5.
It was my. It was, a play off Pulp Fiction, one of my favorite movies,
right?
Possibly my
which was
most
favorite. So it was so you from the South, Southern guy, Ozell, the black guy, Winfield Nichols, I guess
the crazy one. You have to have that loose cannon, crazy, wild.
Yeah, the guy who would be on Extreme Sports or whatever.
Yeah.
And a little cuckoo.
Yeah.
And then Hoshea Marderman, you had the Jewish guy.
Shout out to Hoshea.
And because we're in Polynesia, we had to have a Polynesian. So I was that. I filled that column. So I was like, oh man, it's a lot of tokens here.
How can it? It's not a token if we're all tokens. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I say we have a lot of tokens here. So if we went to some place and it was like pro white people, hey, Michael and Winfield. But then it was like, oh, you like Polynesians? Oh, James, we have a Samoan on our team. So it's like
marketing motherfuckers.
Yeah. We filled every avenue except for Asian guy. So it was like, Polynesian, he's part of that team. So it was so funny because I just started maybe like a year before. You've had experience up in the States. Ozell, I think maybe started like a year ago. We never heard of anything, but Hoshea and Winfield were like brand new. So it was like we pretty much all were new. And everywhere we went to perform, nobody wanted us to perform.
There was a whole lot of disappointment, dog. There was a whole lot of that was one of those the marketing was better than the product situations.
Yeah. But the cool thing is that when we went, we figured something out. Or I say you figured something out, which was, they really like I think Yo Mama was out on MTV, and he was like, let's go do a Yo Mama battle. And it was just so funny that the worst one out of all of us was the black guy. I mean, no racial, but you figure Ozell would kill. He's from Detroit too. So it's like, but Ozell was the worst. Like, Funny comedian. He got up. He got up. He did his thing. Funny comedian. But at Yo Mama battle, I don't know. He just didn't have that thing.
That punch. Yeah, no.
That-
Ozell definitely mad skill. Is he still around?
I haven't seen him. He probably is working. I think somebody posted something with him in it. I don't remember seeing it. If he is, he's not doing stand-up comedy regularly, so I'm not bumping into him.
I hear you. Oh, and by the way, legitimately, Dallas is my favorite place to do comedy. So it's everything I want it to be, right? So I can understand why Joe moved to Texas, quite honestly, and why Tim Dillon, who's actually probably my personal favorite right now as far as stand-up goes. Tim's probably one of my favorites, you know. But you see why a lot of comics are moving down there, because the crowds are just a little cooler, you know. So yeah, man.
Yeah, so we've done what is that called? Oceans nightclub, which is a nightclub. So nightclubs aren't made for stand-up comedy because, one, all the speakers are facing the dance floor. Two, they put the stage on the dance floor. It's like, so we were all like trying to do our set, but every now and then we had to turn like a little bit because of the feedback. It's like, and so because all the speakers are facing the dance floor, where everybody's sitting along the walls, nobody can hear us. All they hear is the feedback. Ooh.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Rectum, I damn near woo.
It was the worst, but I think it was good for me. Like, I needed to battle all of those things so that now when I show up at a spot to do comedy and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we don't have a spotlight, but we have lights on the stage." I'm like, "Cool." So,
We
does the
did
microphone work?
Bruh, comedy and titty bars. Bruh.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was gonna get to that. See, so before that, so
Sorry.
so no worries. Then we went to, and this is with you created comedyhawaii.com, and we rolled under that umbrella. So we went to Oceans. We went to
Well, let me tell you the theory
King.
behind that, right? That was back when
Okay.
the internet wasn't what it is now, and a web page was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
And I knew how to do a web page, and I had some help. Shout out to the boss, who we'll just call him the boss. We know who the boss is, and you know he helped me a lot. So shout out to the
And he
boss.
still helps me today.
Man, he's
that
a
guy.
wonderful human being, man. And he's
Yeah.
my mentor. He's, believe it or not, he's probably the closest thing to a father I have in the whole world. You know what I mean? As far as an older guy who watches out for me and has been there, and I can talk to about anything at any time. I really appreciate Boss. So shout out to you, Boss. You know who you are. I hope you're doing good on the East Coast right now. Yink. So anyway, yeah, man. What were we talking about? Shit, made me think about.
Website.
Oh yeah. So the first show, if you remember, our very first show was at a place called Mercury Lounge, right down the street from Laugh Track in an alley. Like, you go into the alley, and it was that bar that maybe held 25 people, maybe, right?
And most of them standing.
Exactly. There was like 4 tables, and they're like, if you were had everybody seated, no one else could stand, so not everybody could sit at the tables.
But luckily, the stage was so high that you were still above everybody.
Yes, that was great. But is it still a thing there, or did it go away?
I think it's something else now. I don't go. You know, I'm big time now. I don't go to those places.
you know. I love. You're like, I gotta do that. You're like, I headline on open mics when I'm working new material, son. You know what I mean?
Bam.
Can I ask you a question? Do you bump? Like on open mics, do you bump?
Oh yeah, on purpose. I was the week.
Oh yeah, fuck those bitches. I'm not going 25th. I'm James motherfucking Money.
Oh, bump. I thought you said bomb.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, so, well, I don't bump. I won't say bump. I will hit up a promoter and say, "Hey, you mind if I pop in?" And they say, "Yeah, come on." And then I pop
it's a
in.
get slot. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a point
So I don't
where,
bump.
Plus, honestly, and in comedy, people may not like this. It's a political statement. but for folks like you, and there are certain people in the game, especially in Hawaii, that are giving so much back that's just a little thing you can give them. You know what I mean? So there are people you give so much back by putting on good shows, giving people a chance, promoting this podcast. So, it's a give and take. It's always a give and take, man.
Even when I show up at the show, in my head, I'm always competing to try to be the funniest one there. So it's like, I feel like, I'm bringing some quality to the show. But there have been times where, going back to what I said about bombing, where I bomb on purpose. And that's so that it puts me in that fight or flight mode, and then the writing gets better. Maybe like months ago, I went to, it's got a place called King's Pizza, which is like a really small room, and it's a pizza parlor. And I just got real hacky. And I told Graham Elwood, I told him before I go on, I was like, hey man, I'm just gonna sit, because I wasn't planning on going to an open mic. We went to watch Hannibal Buress at Blue Note, and then it was me and Tamu, and on the way we were leaving, I was like, oh, maybe we should stop by the open mic and see. And so we went, and so all I did was I looked around, and I was like, pizza parlors, am I right? And then just dead, and I was like,
and nothing? You got nothing?
No. I was like, cheese, sauce. Am I right? And people was like, because they're looking at me like weird, because everybody before I did jokes, and I was like, men, women, am I right? Cats, dogs. And I just went like that for like maybe like 5 minutes.
Pepper.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the room turned, and they started to say, am I right? And they were having a good time. They were laughing. I went over to Grandma, was like, bro, you should do that. And I was like, no, I will never do that. That was just to, get that shit out and just struggle. And, and then the week before my headlining gig at Blue Note, I went and I asked Jose, hey, can I, do some time? And he put me on last, which was good because as I'm watching it, I was like, I told Graham was there, and I was like, Graham, I'm going to do something weird. He's like, oh, please do. I was like, all right. I got up and I didn't speak for like 2 minutes. I got up on stage, held the microphone, and this is in Blue Note, so it's like, and they filled it really well too. And I was in there like,
for a mic, awesome.
Just look, and then giggles here, giggles there. And then I dug a hole. People started talking to me, and then tried to do my set and work my way out of it. And to me, it's like, I don't know, I'm a little off like that. I like to, you've seen where sometimes I just, where I say, fuck the edge, just don't go up to the edge, just throw everything off the edge and see what happens. And it was, it gets me into this thing in my head where I need to work on this. I need to work on this. And next thing you know, so like the following week when I did my headlining gig, it was fire, as the kids say.
Heck yeah.
So
I'm absolutely sure
it worked out in my head. Yeah.
Sure.
It worked. I was amazing, Michael. I was awesome. Amazing.
Look.
But you know what's funny? I have a tick. So my right side always like it something. I have a tick. So on stage, I think I don't have that tick. I think I have a verbal tick, where because Jose was telling me, he said, "Oh, you know what? You were great. Everything is good, but you tend to say oh shit a lot." So I was like after every sentence or something, he's like a lot. I just say oh shit. And he's like, yeah, you say it a lot. I was like, that's weird. And then I went to Square Barrels with Patrick Terrell's show.
Is he still
one of the new comics? Yep. Every Saturdays at Square Barrels.
It's a Saturday night gig at Square. Nice.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Patrick Tyrell. So, I love me some Patrick Tyrell. Love that dude. So, and he's doing a great job as a promoter. He's always been an amazing. I don't know how he promotes. He's too honest and upright and a good person to promote. You know what I mean? You got to be willing to cut somebody to be a promoter. But he's awesome. So, but anyway, he went to Square.
And a new comic comes up to me and say, "Oh, your set was funny, but I really like when you just pause and you say shit." And I was like, I am doing it. I don't recall actually doing that. But he says, I said, go, oh, damn, Jose was telling me I did that. I went up consciously saying, don't do that. And he's like, no, I like that you do it. Keep doing it. I was like, no, because then I won't be able to work in certain places. I got to be aware of what I'm saying. And it's so weird. It's like I just have this, oh shit, and just blurt that out.
Well, and let me, and that's a good tell. Let me ask, when you were quiet, right, for like 2 minutes straight at that, what was the first, what did you say? What happened? Like, what did you do? And did you get a bit, and what I also want to know is, was your first joke, do you feel like you got a relief laugh? Like by the time you got to your first punchline, do you feel like they were like, yay, finally a joke, and you feel like you got maybe a bigger, stronger laugh because of that? Or do you feel like it was harder to get them on that rhythm, kind of that, punch, jab, jab, thing?
It was difficult to get them into the rhythm because I didn't have anything planned. It was just don't talk. And then it's funny because, I was saying after your brain starts working, so me and Graham, we were talking about it. It's like, oh, maybe you should have did this and set this up. Like, just not talk, and every time somebody giggle, I just turn and look at them like I want to fight them or something, or like, it's just like, yeah, and it make it real awkward in there. And I didn't think about it because I didn't plan anything. I just went up and said, let's go see one. But the weird part is that I got up, and I believe Johnny Rocks Hollywood performed that
That's
night.
a name I haven't heard in a while. How's he doing?
Yeah. Oh, he's great. He works for Blue Note now I think in the store where they sell their merch.
Nice, good for him.
So he gets up and he talks about being gay and whatever.
Is he still doing it? I always thought he was funny. Is he still?
I think he's a lot funnier now. Like because he always performed. He did a song or something. But now his jokes are actually improved.
Stronger. Well, you grow in 10 years, I hope.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. And then. So he's talking about, he's gay, his husband's there, yada, yada. So I get up there and I talk about being gay. Right out of the silence, I go, I'm gay. And this is something weird that it just hit me at the moment. I was like, I'm gay. And then it was like, he's like, yeah, I'm the gay guy your dad warned you about. Because when I catch you, you're getting fucked. And it's not the loving kind. Like, so it was like trying to, like I said, because, you see the huge guy on the stage and like, it's just like, this is, so you guys fear, because in my head, I'm like, you guys are, guys that are homophobic, they're like, oh no, that guy's gay and they're scared of him, whatever. I'm like, that guy's a nice guy. He's not going to attack you. But if I was to attack you, you better be careful. And that's what popped into my head. It was like, yeah, if Johnny Rocks Hollywood, as sweet as he is, who probably can fight. But, if he was attacking.
He fights like a cat. He's got
hey, you'd be surprised, man, because.
I'm saying he fights like he will scratch the shit out of you and then punk. Yeah, no, I wouldn't fuck.
No, even boxing, because, so, we're same generation, right? So back in the days, in the 80s, a lot of the gay guys would get picked on. No, they would get picked on a lot. They were bullied and they had to fight their way. They grow up into adults and they kick ass. So I wouldn't, I don't mess with people just because I don't mess with people, but I wouldn't mess with them because I wouldn't want to get my ass kicked either. Because I've seen them throw down, man. So let's go.
I thought you were supposed to like me.
Yeah.
I've said that many times while getting my ass kicked, actually.
I made fun of you because I liked you. I played football and tried to be tough for my father, but really...
This is how I express my love by shitting on you. What? You don't understand?
I love you, Trevor. So, let's go back. Let's go back. Yeah. I'm almost a Stevenson.
Yeah, you're Steven.
Here's the other thing I wanted to bring up. When we went to On King On King is an art gallery. They had people standing around because there weren't enough chairs, and it looked like it was a dance studio, and then they made it to an art gallery. Hardwood floors, so people would sit on the floors. They set a microphone up in the middle, and they had poets go up before the comics. And this is the best part. The poet that goes up, we thought was a white woman, but she gets up and she talks about her Mexican heritage. And no, we're not talking bad about Mexican people and their heritage and their culture and whatever. It's just that we weren't expecting it, and then all of a sudden she made it dark. And she, it's her poetry, so whatever she wanted to express, that's fine. But she was talking about the blonde-haired, blue-eyed man that raped her grandmother's land and raped her grandmother, and it was like,
if I could look into the
heavy.
Blue eyes of that blonde-headed rapist,
yeah.
Yay.
So it was really heavy, So I mean, it's not time for comedy right after that. So after she does that, and everybody claps, and we clapped too because it was moving. It was it was her testimony, so we're clapping, we're applauding, art. And the next person comes and goes, and now, ladies and gentlemen, the Fox Force 5. Michael C. Hall. And here comes the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
Hey, you got any grandmas I can rape?
So it was like, oh, man. And I remember looking at Ozell, and I was like, what are we doing here, man? I mean, why are we hanging around with these white guys? It was like, oh. And then we got to do a Yo Mama battle after that.
They
So like everybody has their stories about the funeral, memorial, and then comedian. This was like that. Like,
or worse. Or worse. I love. Do you guys do
for you?
Kailua? You guys ever go over the Poly in Kailua ever? Is there a gig out there?
No, it's it was before the pandemic. Reese Paul was putting that together. I don't know if it's someone else. Yep, I actually he's my guest tomorrow.
He's doing so good. I never met him. He was after me, but I know.
No, you were. He was in high school.
Oh yeah. I met him once.
Yeah, he didn't have a beard. He was clean face, shy kid that was awkward. Now he's an awkward older guy.
So I hope he's killing it, man. I hope you shout out to Noah Downs, by the way. That dude supports.
Noah Downs. That's what I was gonna bring up with the Fox Force 5 was Noah Downs. He was like the 0.5 of the 5, where he was the photographer. He came out to a couple of shows, and he's gonna be a dad if he's not a dad right now. Yes. Noah Downs.
Of all of us. You know what I'm saying? Of all of us.
And his wife is a beautiful woman, too.
I know. I've seen pics. He makes good money.
So the reason we're saying this, for those of you that don't know, is Noah Downs was that guy that just kept fucking up. It's like, Noah Downs, super supportive. I love that guy. He never screwed me over. So I really like the dude.
He never screwed anybody over officially.
Yeah. But he was just like, because I guess he was really young. He's much younger than us. So he always was something that he goofed or something. And he was that younger brother that, come on, man. It's like, but super awesome guy. That always came out and supported.
Him and Hoshea.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like that. Actual cousins. So yeah, man.
Oh. So yeah, it was super cool. But yeah, on King, we've done a lot of shows, and then we ended up performing with Andy Bumatai at the Dragon Upstairs. Got in good with Hank and those guys, and started doing our own shows. And then we got booked to do a strip club. Club 939, Hawaii's premier gentlemen's club. on KLMoku, 939 KLMoku, had a burlesque show and wanted comedians to come out and introduce the acts and do a little, chuckles here and there.
Because if you're because I love the tagline. If you're not disappointed enough that the girls aren't taking off their clothes tonight because it's a burlesque show, you get to see some sweaty dudes on stage talking to you about how they don't get laid first. I mean, what could go wrong? It's a brilliant idea, especially for a titty bar where guys are going to see one thing specifically, right? Brilliant.
Didn't you lick the pole?
One night, somebody gave me $25 to lick the pole. I was like, "Dare me to lick the pole?" They were like, "No." I was like, "I'll do it for 25." And I think I actually ended up making like 50 because a bunch of people gave me money for licking the pole.
Yeah. So luckily, they spray the pole clean. So
yeah, it did. It tasted more like cleaner than vagina. So
lemony fresh. Somebody's using lemon flavored Summer's Eve. But yes, it was.
Oh, and you took that relationship and ran with it? Did live shows out of there, man? Good for you. So
yeah, I was doing the Guys with Issues podcast out of there. Stuart, who still owns it, he showed up at my show at Blue Note. Very supportive, awesome guy. He's telling me to do some of my sketch comedy to record it over there, and it's like I would, but I think the guys that I roll with.
Sorry.
The guys I roll with aren't really cool with going to strip clubs. I'm like, even though I tell them it's closed, I might have to go there myself just for research.
And they love you there. So. For research.
Oh, and I love being there. I make sure to get, I won't say, pictures of the porn stars that were. It's funny because I posted a picture or IG story of me and 4 of the porn stars that were, it has something to do with those tags, something, or tap in for Instagram stories. If you didn't do the job that you're doing, what could it be? So I put porn star, and then I put my picture of myself, London Keys, Charmaine Starr, Tara Patrick, Evelyn Lynn, and I even tagged all of them. So I posted that, and then the kids that I coach are like, whoa. So,
I forgot you coach kids.
Yeah. But I don't work for the school, so it's okay.
Absolutely. Volunteer.
And it's not illegal. Also, I got a DM from Tyler, my daughter, and she's like, ew, so gross. I wanted to say, what the fuck you know about that?
Dude, she's in college, and we're not going to get into that. You don't want to know.
Please not. That's the boundary. That's the boundary.
They don't have kids,
it's
it's hilarious to me. But that's the boundary.
It's like old school mafia. The family, keep the family out of it.
Yeah, no, we don't. We don't go there. So,
but yeah, so we have been around. I mean, shoot, even the dance studio. What is that? Fridays at in IL.
Yeah, we did a dance studio. Bar 7 I had for a while. O Lounge. I think we did a show at O Lounge too. When that's not a thing anymore. Is it?
No.
It's a great venue.
Now it's the main places are Slack Key and Crossroads, which is in Hawaiian Brian's, Square Barrels, Blue Note, Next Door, Manifest, and Beach House. Oh, and then Jose has the new place in Taqueria, which is in Kapolei, which I'm performing at tomorrow night.
Do you know how many shows that sounds like? Remember when we had maybe 3 or 4 venues and we had to stretch them out over 2 months? Like you're just
I was grumbling.
This, and I'm like, that's a real comedy scene, man.
And I was grumbling. Remember how many times I quit? I was like, man, it's too many. I quit.
You expect me to do 3 comedy shows in a week? Golly. I'm like, bro, when you get on the road.
Sometimes I was complaining about 3 in 2 weeks. I was like, oh man, another one. Now I'm like, oh, book it. Let's go.
Right. It's like, man, I ain't been up. I did a open mic for the first time in over 2 years. Not too long ago.
Recently?
Yeah. It was fun. I went up with no material. I had one joke about I had one joke, and it's not worth doing on a podcast. So
it doesn't need to be there forever.
It's a thing I'm working on. But anyway, it went over okay. And I did crowd work. Crowd work has always been kind of where I can rest and do what I do, and I kind of kill it. It was awesome seeing the new comedians just struggle, you know what I mean, and try to talk. And they're like, I have a funny idea, and I'm trying to talk it out, and I don't know how much time. And it was beautiful. I was like, oh, I almost missed that. So yeah, that's what I like about
days.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said the good old days. These kids today don't understand how much that the promoters, Jose at comedyyuhi.com, Patrick, was it Comedy Squared on Instagram, Pepper, the Misunderstood Evil Genius, is doing the Manifest every Saturday.
Oh, cool. He's got a Saturday night gig at Manifest. Heck yeah.
Yep. And then
Awesome. Yeah.
Erica does the Beach House. I'm thinking Tuesdays. Oh, but there's a new one, Tex 808 Barbecue in Waikiki. They call it the Comedy Pit. So I'm doing their Friday night with Clarice, comedian Clarice. I don't know if she goes by Clarice Lee, but comedian Clarice, I believe. So, and Maui with Chino, they're doing a lot of shows at Playground.
What's that Chino doing good?
Yeah, and then there's a Pineapple Bar, I think, on the Big Island. I'm not sure if it's in Hilo or Kona. I think it's in close to Hilo. But the scene, they're trying to do stuff. Tumua, who's actually, I'm going with on Maui next Saturday, and then the following weekend does 3 shows on Kauai. I don't know if anybody's done, is doing stuff on Kauai. So
I bet it'll be sold out.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, it sold out fast. He's doing. It was only supposed to be 1 show, and then it turned into 3. They want to add a 4th, but they're thinking, no, let's just leave them wanting more for the next show. Next time they'll buy their tickets faster. So.
And there's only so many people in Kauai, so
Yeah.
You want to turn those seats too a little bit, right? Yeah, no, Maui. Where are you playing in Maui?
So it's Tumua's show. So it's at the Castle Theater, the Mac.
Nice.
Yeah, I believe he sold it out. They might. So I don't think Tumua knows Chino.
No.
So.
Well, comp him the ticket at least, man. Make sure he gets out there, man. Connect with the brother.
So this is not my show. So this is one of those
pull
things
a string,
where
James Money. You're James Money. You had 3 seasons on TV.
I don't have a string to pull. Like with Jose, I can pull strings, but with Tamua's show, it's kind of like I'm the guest here, and I appreciate being here. I do, it's a job, so it's like that. Even when I open for other people, it's like I don't want to be like, hey, can I get some tickets? It's like, hey man, act like you've been here before.
Yeah, no, I'm big time. Tell you what, you invite Chino out. If there's a problem, I'll cash app you the price for a ticket for him.
I don't know if there's tickets anymore. I think it's sold out.
That's what I'm saying. If it's sold out, let him in the back door. You know what I mean?
I can. That's even worse. That's even worse than asking for comps.
That's better. You're like, oh, this is the homie. What up? You don't do it like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's even worse than asking for comps, because it's like I just broke this person in to steal from your show.
Tell him. But he's not stealing if it's sold out, if he's not going to make any money anyway on it.
Well, he needs to know to buy tickets next time early. That's always been the funniest. That's always been the funniest thing. But I think, it's like you were like way more ghetto than me or Ozell was.
I was supposed to say, you got to tell Chino, I can only let you in the back door if you come through smoking a blunt. You know, it's just a blunt lit. Be like, hey, Tamu, this is the homie right here. He's gonna slide in. You know, get you a snack, little player.
I like my job at the Tumua Empire. I'm gonna keep that clean, man. I make sure I don't lose that gig. That's a paying gig right there, boy.
You're right. I hear you.
Yeah.
Jimmy needs gas.
Yeah. Your trucks, and the gas going up. I mean, shoot, I might start catching a bus. But yeah, so we've come a long way, my friend.
Hell yeah, we have, bro. It's crazy, man. I'm so happy for you, man. That's, I mean, people don't know. I think, you honestly are too humble, and that's, something I definitely wanted to get across and let people know, man. You're doing the damn thing. You know what I mean? First Samoan to ever be on TV to do comedy. Shouts to Graham Elwood. And you killed it, and you killed that set, and it was great for you. You did 3 seasons on a national TV show, man, and you're about to go do more. You're touring across the country. You've opened for some of the biggest names in comedy, and they loved you. Like my man Dave Chappelle. Chappelle thought you were funny. That's huge, bro. So, man, you are James motherfucking Monet. You know what I mean? I want you to believe in that. And I want you to know.
Easy, Stevenson. You just turned into Steven Von Stevenson, my friend.
I'm a Stevenson this whole motherfucking place. I'm gonna put my
You went You went DP. You went DP. You're Steven in your first and last name. And you're in the middle initial M for Michael. Steven. Look at the camera. Steven Michael Steven. Steven Michael Steven. Just yes.
You're a naughty Steven. You're a naughty Steven. You're a naughty Steven.
It's funny because you froze. Your screen froze while you were doing that. So it looked like it was like, whoa, money shot. Whoa.
That was for free. Next time I charge for that.
Oh man, I'll give you some tickets to tomorrow's show. How about that?
Only if I can smoke a blunt, dog. You know what I mean?
What up, Mac Theater?
I got a blunt right here and a blunt right here.
What brand is those blunts? Stevens. Oh,
what?
We have gone too far. Make sure you swallow it.
No. I know. Why would you want me to do that? What does that do for you?
You're gonna inhale. You better swallow it, boy.
If you don't cough, you don't get off.
Oh,
That's
I think
funny.
we are destroying Amy's screen.
Where's that with the fan? She's still listening. I thought she had left a long time ago.
No, she's the number. Oh, okay. So I can't say she's the number one fan because, and I apologize, Amy Frazier. The number one fan title went to Krusty Pete, who listens in Germany. He flies down the Autobahn and he's listening to the podcast. But Amy is my special guest because she's my first paid sponsor. My first
awesome. What's her business?
subscriber. That's no. I'm sorry. Paid as far as a listener.
Like a
she
Patreon.
donated.
Oh,
yeah,
cool,
she
cool.
subscribed. She's my first subscriber through Anchor.fm. So she subscribed to the podcast. So when my video comes out from the headlining show that I did, I'm gonna put it in YouTube place where it's private, and then I'll send her the link so she can see it.
That's awesome. You're sending private videos to women on the internet. Good for you, James.
Yeah, and I'm just standing there with this big giant black thing on my mouth. I'm going, oh shit.
Oh shit. That is
Hey, I got
definitely.
another one.
Oh, she's your new number one fan.
Okay. All right. They can all be number one.
I bring fans
We
to
are
you,
all
baby.
number one.
I bring
appreciate
fans
it.
to you. You got to take
I
some of them off my
appreciate it.
plate. I'm busy. I ain't got time for all these fans. Player can only play so much.
So, so let's bring it back down a little bit because we kind of went there. But that's how our comedy was. You know, when you it's so the thing with me and Michael, and the funny part is, Michael knows the true me, in that I'm going to out myself, but you know what? That's what podcasts are for, to bring the truth out. So when there was a time when new comics would look up to me and ask for advice or just want to hang out and talk with me, and Michael knew that I didn't like that shit. He was the only one that knew, and I didn't say anything. He just figured it out. He was just like, "Oh, there goes big time James," because I would find a way to get out of there. Like, I would be here, as big as I was the biggest person in the room, 6'7", at that time, like 380. I found a way to end up, where's James at? Because I was into my own thing where I'm trying to get better for me. But then when the other people come in, oh, what did you think of this? What did you think of that? And I was stuck up where I was just like, man, I got time for your shit. I got to think of my shit. I'm about to go up and I got to worry about my stuff. I got to worry, and at that time when I was new, that's where I was. And the only person that knew that was Mike. So eventually he would run interference after a while when he figured it out.
Yeah, I knew you'd like to go sit in your truck basically and chill, think about your set. But that's why you're so good at comedy, because I mean, it is a lot, in my opinion. Everybody approaches their craft differently. But I mean, the people, when you listen to comics talk about comics, the greats, they, were a lot like that. You know what I mean? A lot of them were withdrawn after their set, and it was their craft and it was their art form. And, in the same way a musician or a great football player, because I like being in front of you and doing this doesn't mean I want to kick it with you afterwards. Right. So, and
well,
me, I'm
even,
doing that, so.
Yeah. And that's why you would get mad at me, because it was like, we did a good show. Let's celebrate. And I'm like, oh, I'm going home.
You're like Whataburger celebration for me, or Zippy. I'm sorry, Zippy's.
Yeah. Well, Jack in the Box.
J and the B, baby, with the tacos. Yes. So no matter how poor you were, you could always get a couple Jack in the Box tacos, man. Yeah. I love that.
Don't forget the buttermilk sauce.
Some of the, I look back in some of my funnest and happiest times were sitting at Zippy's or, chilling in your truck after a show. You know what I mean? Talking about how fucked it was or how good we did or how bad we did or whatever. So that was some of my still I look back in those are the times. The movie Funny People, believe it or not. There's a scene in that movie where he's standing there and there's a Thanksgiving dinner, and I consider still comedy, a lot of comedy babies out there. You know what I mean? If the first time you ever did grabbed a mic and told a joke was at a show that I put a flyer together and convinced a bar owner to let us do, then in my heart I want you to do good. And I feel like, what I mean? There's a little love and a little investment there. So, yeah, man, it was, a lot of that love there. And, oh, by the way, I have to mention Indigo. We didn't mention Indigo. I feel like that place was really the nucleus. That was J-Rod letting us fuck up that room and go in there. And that kind of, we did everything from DJ shows to, playing guitars to just doing comedy marathons for 6 hours. And, that was a key to, I think, the entire success of comedy in Hawaii. I really do. Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was, and it was cool because of the brick walls. It felt like we were in a comedy club. Yeah. Everything was nice and tight. But one more thing, because we're getting close to the 2-hour mark.
No, we're not going 4. I thought we were doing a 4-hour. Let's do a marathon. Let's go. I'm just getting warm. Well, where you at,
Amy?
With
the downloads? the thing with the downloads is that
Yeah, no, I
when
know.
you
I
reach 2 hour mark, it gets weird. So I always try to keep it under 2 hours. But
know.
one thing I want to talk about, and this is something that is so when I talked to Patrick last night, something that impacted my life and changed me as a person for the better. The one thing with his situation, losing his daughter with her battle to cancer, and his daughter's the same age as my daughter, and seeing them go through that, getting to see her before she passed, it helped me think of helped me become a better father and be a more appreciative father. And when I look at my daughter, I'm like, I'm blessed that she is here still with me. Where Patrick, God bless him, and Wendy, losing Princess Haley, it's, it helped me become a better father. For with you, when my daughter Tyler got into the Beatles at an early age, 6 years old, and she was a Beatles fan, and I'm like, oh, cool, go for it. And we start. So then, as the parent, you start to download all the songs, and you start, okay, look, check out this one, check out this one. You start listening to all the music, and then you was listening to it while it was in the truck. I think it was a CD that I burned or something like that, or anyways, we're listening to it, and Across the Universe comes on. So Across the Universe is a very beautiful song, but there's something you said that made me think of that song different, as well as made me think of everything else different. So it inspired the way I think today. So this is something that happened in my life, that something is little for you, but impacted me, enormously. Where you're talking about the line where nothing's going to change my world, and you're saying, oh, the nothing will change the world. Whereas, and then when I heard that, like my mind flipped. I was like, the nothing, which basically means that everything is happening in your life. So this is how as we talked about it, everything is happening in your life. When nothing happens, that's what changes the world. When there's nothing, when there's a void, and so then I was like, never thought of the words that way. And then I started listening to other songs, started listening to other people's talks. I didn't watch certain movies, TVs, programs, and seeing them in different ways. So like when I was, when I first started, it was very, my comedy was very set up punch. Now it's more storytelling. And it's because of that. Because I was like, oh, what if this happens? Then I think of, why does this happen? What if something else happens? I keep turning that thought, and asking questions about it, and experiencing the thought, the idea of the joke, in so many different ways, and how it can be perceived or taken by other people, and it helped me become a better, not just a better joke writer, a better storyteller, but also a better critical thinker in general, with a lot of things that I, when I talk to people, as I'm talking to them in my head, it's like, oh, how are they taking it? How could I say it so that it doesn't offend? How can I say it? Other than the word "oh shit" that keeps coming out somewhere. That, and then Across the Universe, that song, when they say words are flowing out. And I think of that. So when I perform and I share my energy, as it bounces off of everybody, and it comes back to me different ways. This person didn't like it, that person. And it's so weird that you can feel it from the laughter. And then knowing that that energy is just traveling forever across the universe. It just doesn't stay in this room. That it goes out forever. And that laughter, that happiness, that joy that we as comedians, and it all started by us talking about Steven being the new word for dick.
Or why wasn't it? That's beautiful. No, you're right, man.
And it all started all the way back to sperm whale. It's like, it's so crazy that we thought us, and we just kept turning like a Rubik's cube. We kept turning, and seeing what comes out of it, and then it brings joy across the universe.
Yeah, and that's
and I want to thank you.
Oh no, man! Thank you for listening to me, man. You know, you're my brother, and you always will be, man. I was gonna say, what's cool about that in a comedy set, especially when you're grooving and you're in the zone, that nothing, that silence, right when they're done laughing, and when you're taking that breath to go into your next bit, especially when like you end with a hard tag that's just so money, you know what I mean, and you get that extended laughter, and then they're kind of tired after you just bam, and then bam bam. I love the threes, and then boom. And then there's nothing for a second. And that's that pregnant pause, but that's the nothing, right? There's nothing. In that room, in that moment, there's nothing, but there's so much in that nothing. So anyway, man, thank you. Man, thank you so much, man. This was wonderful.
No, really.
Do it again.
It's like you're very hard on yourself. Whenever we talk, you're always like, oh, you probably don't give a shit about me. But I know that's how you talk regularly. But, that's all I wanted to, when you come onto this podcast, I wanted to share with you and to the viewers and the listeners that you're not a piece of shit to me.
To most in like maybe, but not to you.
Well, I can't speak for the rest of the people on this island, but to me, we cool.
Can I, in just addressing that, can I just say it's been what's funny is I was going through those pictures of us. That was 2012, right? So that was a decade ago. Yeah. And let me just use this podcast, if it's okay, right before we jump. I know we got a couple minutes.
Sure.
I'll do this to make amends to everyone in Hawaii. See, that way you guys can all watch the podcast. Well, I'm glad we did, Sharon. Thank you for watching. Look, man, I've made some mistakes. I wasn't equipped for what happened. I mean, the scene kind of blew up, let's be honest, and not to brag necessarily, but all of a sudden people wanted to give us money to tell jokes. We weren't ready for that. And then, once again, had my own issues, coming from how I came, no father, no brothers, no sisters, single parent home, losing my uncle to murder, best friend to suicide before I ever got to Hawaii. That's, just the highlights. So, man, there was a lot there. And then all of a sudden dealing with this, and then dealing with broken comedians, and then trying to build relationships, and then trying to run a business, and then using alcohol and drugs as my medication instead of seeking the help I should have. So I want to make amends for that. If anybody still holds a grudge against me, I'd recommend forgiving me, man. That's energy you don't need to burn for you, for your life, for your good in life. There was a guy, he was here, he did some stuff. Some good, some bad. Some would say it's 50-50. Some say it's 70-30. What the fuck ever. I promise you've got bigger things to worry about in your life. I love you. Man, fuck, I love everyone in Hawaii. I love the new comedy babies I haven't met yet. You know what I mean? Who's doing the Aloha Comedy Festival? Who's doing that one?
That's Patrick Terrell.
That is Patrick Terrell. Everybody get your tickets to the Aloha Comedy Festival. Support Patrick. I think that's an awesome thing. I'm really happy that you guys are doing that, because that gives it gives you a lot of exposure in a short amount of time. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I love you, man. And shouts to Tyler, young Tyler Reezy. I miss young Tyler Reezy. And now she's not so young, but young Tyler Reezy. So yeah.
She's also taller than you now.
And she was taller than me in 7th grade, bro. Shut up.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you being on the podcast. I love doing this from even back in the Live Mic Show podcast.
Oh, our first podcast together with Anna Lanzi, who I don't even keep in touch. Oh, she's doing great. So just lost contact.
Well, it's the first podcast I've ever been with. So the Live Mic Show. So,
we had fun.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so brother.
Much. Everybody that's watching and listening, thank you guys so much. Go ahead and follow Michael C. Hall on Instagram at C Hall Comedy. Those of you that are struggling with some demons, he's a good ear to listen to and chat with, and go ahead and become a fan of his. I'm truly, a fan, a friend, and a brother, man. Thank you so much. Sorry to keep you up late there. No,
you're not. I got clothes that got to go in the dryer now. So.
Well, would you look at this?
Oh, Mama in the building. We got to go because James got to cut it. But I love you, Mama, always.
Yes, I love you too. And the first time I saw you, you were wearing an OU shirt.
We don't play in this town.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Really
Thank
appreciate
you,
it. Mike, I'll
Amy.
keep in touch with you.
All right, brother. I love you. We'll
Keep in
talk
touch with
soon.
you.
As we do. All right.
Love you too. All right. Peace out. So that was the Michael C. Hall. We're like war buddies or army buddies, where we were thrown into this thing. Didn't really know what we were doing, but came out better people. We've battled together, we've battled with each other. But at the end of the day, which is funny because that's a phrase that we always would say. At the end of the day, we grew up and we appreciate each other a lot more. So maybe there's somebody out there that you might want to reach out to that you haven't talked to for a long time. It only takes a phone call. We all got them. So thank you for listening to the podcast. Please share. If you want to, you can subscribe on YouTube, or you go to anchor.fm and help support the podcast so I can do some more. I can get some new equipment, better earbuds than this thing here in my ear. Thank you guys for listening. I got food downstairs, so you know what that means. I got to go down and eat. That's what I do. Well, maybe I should ease up. But anyways.
Intensify the gleaming in my eye. The Bagalolo, it be lifting me up high.